योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञा भक्तिविनीतयः दीप्तिश्चाभिव्रता नित्यं तं गुरुं प्रणमाम्यहं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। 73 आत्मा कंपः सुखात्मा स्फुरति तदपरात्वन्यथैव स्फुरन्ति स्थैर्यं वा चञ्चलत्वं मनसि परिणतिं याति तत्रत्यमस्मिन् चाञ्चल्यं दुःखहेतुः मनसैदमहो यावदिष्टार्थलब्धिः तस्यां यावत्स्थिरत्वं मनसि विषयजं स्यात् सुखं तावदेव। यद्वत्सौख्यं व्रतान्ते निमिषमिह मनस्येकतानेरसेन स्थैर्यं यावत् सुषुप्तौ सुखमनतिशयं तावदेवाथ मुक्तौ। नित्यानन्दः प्रशान्ते हृदि तदिह सुखस्थैर्ययोः साहचर्यम् नित्यानन्दस्य मात्रा विषयसुखमिदं युज्यते तेन वक्तुम्। श्रान्तं स्वान्तं च बाह्यव्यवहृतिभिरिदं ताः समाकृष्य सर्वाः तत्तत्संस्कारयुक्तं ह्युपरमति परावृत्तमिच्छन्निदानम्। स्वाप्नान् संस्कारजातप्रजनितविषयान् स्वाप्नदेहेषु भूतान् प्रोज्झ्यान्तः प्रत्यगात्मप्रवणमिदमगात् भूरि विश्राममस्मिन्। स्वप्ने भोगः सुखादेः भवति ननु कुतः साधने मूर्च्छमाने स्वाप्नं देहान्तरं तद्व्यवहृति कुशलं नव्यमुत्पद्यते चेत् तत्सामग्र्या अभावात् कुत इदमुदितं तद्धि साङ्कल्पिकं चेत् तत्किं स्वप्ने रतान्ते वपुषि निपतिते दृश्यते शुक्रमोक्षः। गीत्यारोदित्यनेन प्रवदति हसति श्लाघते नूनमस्मात् स्वप्नेऽप्यङ्गेऽनुबन्धम् त्यजति न सहसा मूर्च्छितेऽप्यन्तरात्मा। पूर्वं येऽनुभूताः तनुयुवति हयौ व्याघ्रदेशादयोऽर्थाः तत्संस्कारस्वरूपात् सृजति पुनरमून श्रित्य संस्कारदेहम्. So in the previous verse, which we just chanted now, so there were a couple of questions which were posed yesterday. One question had to do, posed to the class, one question had to do with the usage Shritya. Shritya Samskara Dehan. Of course, post class there were very interesting discussions yesterday. One question which was posed was, how does the Prayoga Shritya get justified as per the Paninian grammar? So this was the question which was asked by Natesha Mahashaya. I told it should be understood as Ashritya, and I also told him that I will check with Pandits who are versed in grammar to see if there is a way to justify this usage. So let me tell people, others who are not that familiar with grammar, the sutra which actually brings in this form is worth knowing, and the sutra which actually made him come up with this question is also worth knowing. Normally, when we are children, we are not taught this sutra, but then they will just say, in order to understand and appreciate in general, Sopasarge Tvolyap. So this is what people say. I was under the impression that that could be itself a sutra. Then, okay. But then that is not the sutra. So let me tell you, the sutra is, you repeat. Samase Anaipurve.
Samase Anaipurve.
Anaipurve. Samase Anaipurve. Nanye. Nanye Ananye. Nanye. Okay. Samase Anaipurve.
Samase Anaipurve.
Tolyap.
Tolyap.
Kutvolyap.
Kutvolyap.
So now you tell the full sutra. There is a suffix called ktva. There is a suffix called lyap. Okay. Samase anaipurve ktolyap.
Samase
anaipurve ktolyap. Samase anaipurve ktolyap. So in this sutra, Samase anaipurve ktolyap, there are 4 words, 4 padas. Of them, the first 2 present the conditions under which tva will turn into lyap. Tva is a suffix, lyap is also a suffix. What do they mean? They mean that if you are performing 2 activities, the activity which precedes the other activity, if you have to narrate them together, in order to communicate that this activity preceded the other activity, you use this suffix. Aham pathitva chayam pibami. Aham pathitva kshiram pibami. Suppose you say this vakya. Okay? So mother offers milk. Pathitva pibami. Suppose you say. So, Pathanam is a Kriya, Panam is a Kriya. Now, having completed this, I will do this. So, in order to indicate that, okay, so you use this Ktva. Okay. Natva Matangananam. We were reading in the Leelavati. Okay. Pritim Bhaktajanasya Yojanayate Vikhnam Viniknan Smrtaha Tam Vrindaraka Vrindavandita Padam Natva Matangananam Patim Sadganitasya Vachmi. Okay. Natva Vachmi is a Kriya. So Namanam is a Kriya and Vadanam is another Kriya. Okay. Having offered my venerations, I start composing. Tatra Ktva iti bhavati. Now the sutra tells Samase Anai Purve Ktolyap. Ktolyap actually says the Ktva will be replaced by Lyap. Okay. Ktva will be replaced by Lyap. Lyap is another suffix, another form which has been used. So here it gives you two conditions. Samase anai purve. When you want to do a samasa and when the samasa is not with nai. If the samasa were to be done with nai, then that replacement will not happen. It is called adesha. Okay, so this will be replaced by the other. So why does he use two conditions? Samase iti kim, anai purve iti kim. So this is how the commentators will ask, why did you say so? What do you mean by that? So here there is a samasa which is happening, and the samasa can be even between a prefix and a word. Okay, and here the samasa Kritva, suppose you have. Okay, so suppose you wanted to add the prefix sam, it will become samskritya. Okay, Kritva, okay, will become, if you add sam, it will become samskritya. Nana Kritva, so Nana Kritya, it will become. Okay, it may be rare use. Nana Kritva, Nana Kritya, Prakritya. See, pra is a prefix. So Kritva. So basically, Prakritva. This is what you have. So when you want to do samasa, so it will become Lyap will replace it, and therefore Prakritya. Prakritya. Prakritya means given blows to others. Okay. So this is what this Lyap. Now here we have a instance, and Lyap in that pa will be it, and therefore only ya will remain. Okay. So here there is a prefix which I said ashritya. Okay, that there is no reason for it to get dropped. Okay, we have one instance in which, of course, Nyayadhisha will know that. So we have a beautiful verse, the opening verse of Kumara Sambhava. Astyuttarasyam dishidevatatma himalayo namanagadhirajaha purvaparau toyanidhi vagahya sthitah prithivya imamanadanda. There it is avagahya. But what has happened is A has got dropped. It simply says vagahya. For that, there is a special usage, there is a special sutra, that is another Acharya's mata, Bhagura matam. So they give a sutra also. That is not the case. That can happen only when you have hrasvakara. So here we have A, and therefore there is no reason for it to get dropped. And this usage as it is was puzzling, and therefore I said yesterday it could be considered as Arsha Prayoga. And I gave another example in the earlier section of this text also. Rodamanam. Okay. So it should be Rudantam is the usage which one expects there. Okay. And not the Shanach Pratyaya. It is Shatru Pratyaya. So this is one more instance where we find. So the answer is, this is not justifiable as per Paninian grammar. So what I said stands. So I am just telling you the sutra. So this doesn't help us in trying to any other sutra also. It is only Shritya is what is there. But I can tell you one thing. There is a saying which is also useful for us to know. How far people justify using this, I don't know. There are two possibilities I just wanted to present here. Since this is a very serious audience, there is a famous saying, Apimasham masham krutva chando bhangam nakarayet. This is a certain usage. Okay? Apimasham masham kuryat chando bhangam nakarayet. So this is a certain usage which people say. You can turn masha into masha, but you cannot violate the rules which have been laid out by Prosody. Chanda Shastra. Chando bhangam nakarayet. Okay? So this is a saying which has been followed traditionally. My guess is, so there are certain usages which you find in the Vedic literature. And the Vedic literature is also based on chandas. So we have the entire Rig Veda is primarily composed in chandas. Trishtup Chandha, Anushtup Chandha, Jagati Chandha, and so on and so forth. So there you will find this kind of peculiar usages. Perhaps this would have gotten from there. So okay, from a long time people might have been. But classical Sanskrit, they generally don't do that. Okay. So this kind of a lopa is not done. So here, the other thing that one can think of is, Shritya could be a part of some Vedic text which we are unable to trace. This is another hypothesis which I am presenting. Because we find several verses which are being used by Bhagavad Pada, wherein we find almost the same pattern repeated in the verse. So there is a possibility wherein we may find some Shruti which may use this, and therefore Acharya might have used this. But as far as I could know, I don't know. Okay, so that is where this discussion on Shritya stands. Okay, now we will move on to the next verse. There is another thing which I wanted to say, maybe in some other class I will say. Previous verse, the Sankalpikanchet, there is also some very interesting usage. Anyway, so let it stand there. So let us read this verse, the successive verse 78. Sandhau jagrat sushuptyoho.
Sandhau jagrat sushuptyoho. Sandhau jagrat sushuptyoho.
Anubhava vidita.
Anubhava vidita. Anubhava vidita.
Swapnyavastha dvitiya.
Swapnyavastha dvitiya. Swapnyavastha dvitiya.
Tatrahatma jyotiraste.
तत्रात्मज्योतिरास्ते तत्रात्मज्योतिरास्ते
पुरुषैः समाकृष्य सर्वेन्द्रियाणि पुरुषैः समाकृष्य सर्वेन्द्रियाणि पुरुषैः समाकृष्य सर्वेन्द्रियाणि संवेश्य स्थूलदेहम्
संवेश्य स्थूलदेहम्
समुचितशयने
समुचितशयने
स्वीयभासान्तरात्मा
स्वीयभासान्तरात्मा
पश्यन् संस्काररूपान् अभिमतविषयान् याति कुत्रापि तद्वत् So this verse is traceable to a mantra in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 4th Adhyaya. And you just read this mantra first. So at the end of the class, once again we will revisit this mantra after understanding the content of this verse. Tasya va etasya पुरुषस्य द्वे एव स्थाने भवतः इदञ्च परलोकस्थानञ्च सन्ध्यं तृतीयग् स्वप्नस्थानम्. You can very easily see here सन्धौ जाग्रत् सुषुप्त्योः सन्ध्यं तृतीयग् स्वप्नस्थानम्. तस्मिन् सन्ध्ये स्थाने तिष्ठन्नेते उभे स्थाने पश्यतीदञ्च परलोकस्थानञ्च. अथ यथाक्रमोऽयं परलोकस्थाने भवति तमाक्रममाक्रम्य उभयान् पाप्मन आनन्दाग्श्च पश्यति स यत्र प्रस्वपित्यस्य लोकस्य सर्वावतो मात्रामपादाय स्वयं विहत्य स्वयं निर्माय स्वेन भासा स्वेन ज्योतिषा प्रस्वपित्यत्रायं पुरुषस्वयं ज्योतिर्भवति. अत्रायं पुरुषः स्वयं ज्योतिर्भवति. This is how the mantra ends. This is 439 Brihadaranyaka. Now in this verse you will see tatra atmajyotiraste purushaha. So the other things are also be traced with this mantra. There is much more in the mantra than what you find in this verse. We will see that. What he says is Sandhau jagrat sushuptyoho anubhava vidita swapniyavastha dvitiya. Swapni avastha. That is what is Swapni avastha. Swapni avastha. Sometimes you will say Swapna avastha. So now he has used the word Swapni avastha. So Jagrati avastha. Saushupta avastha. So this is how the words get formed. So the sutra is tasyedam. There is a suffix called an is a suffix, and there is a another suffix which is neep. So this an and geep, they will go together, and we will have this form swapni. Okay. So ni ikara comes from neep and this an suffix. Anyway, swapni avastha. What does it mean? Tasyedam. That it belongs to that. It is connected with that. An avastha which is connected with swapna. That is what it essentially means. An avastha which is connected with swapna. Swapni avastha. Swapna is dream. Swapni means connected with dream. Tasya idam. Okay. So tasya basically refers to the sambandha. Sambandha samanya shashti. So here tasyedam is the sutra which is in operation, and you will get swapni avastha. Why am I saying this? This is something which is important to understand. This avastha is a word which we use to refer to a particular state. Sukhavastha, dukkhavastha, jagradavastha, swapnavastha, sushuptyavastha. Everywhere we use the word avastha. It refers to a certain state in which the person exists. Okay? Tatra tishtati. So it is essentially. So here, stha gati nivrittau. Okay? So you just remain in a state. So that is why the word avastha comes. So here, swapni avastha is saying, and he says, anubhava vidita is a qualifier which has been given to this avastha. How is this avastha known? Anubhava vidita. It is something which is known through experience. It is not something which is hypothesized and given to you. Yesha avastha. So there is a certain distinction from the other states, and therefore you say this is an avastha. Even when you say sukha avastha, dukkha avastha, etc. Yenna avasthe. So this is a general thing. So this avastha generally we used to refer to some negative feelings that we undergo. Romba avasthapatta means, so the dukkha avastha, the dukkha is generally dropped. You simply say avastha. So romba avasthapada, so is a general usage in Tamil. Means he is suffering. So avastha need not necessarily be always suffering. It can be always sukha avastha also, provided you understand the truth. Okay. So then you can more or less stay in sukhavastha. Now here he is saying anubhava vidita. So this is something which is known through your own experience. When do you experience this avastha? That he says, sandhau jagrat sushuptyoho. Jagrat sushuptyoho sandhau. Sandhihi refers to the union of two things. Okay? So that is why even in grammar, guna sandhi, at sandhi, this sandhi, that sandhi. So essentially, when two things come together, when they unite, something happens at the interface. Okay? The change that happens in the interface. Even the sandhyopasthanam, when you say, so it is the interface between day and night. Okay? Day and night. Okay? So wherein sun is available and sun is not available. Okay? So it's an interesting verse. Just a reminder, we should know that. So there is a beautiful verse. So the Sandhi reminded me of that verse. See, the poet says, by looking at the Sandhi, you have to learn a very important thing in life. What do you learn? He says, Udaye savita raktaha.
Udaye savita raktaha. Udaye savita raktaha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha.
Raktaschastamaye tatha. Raktascha astamaye. Raktaschastamaye tatha. Raktaschastamaye tatha. Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Sampattau cha vipattau cha. Sampattau cha vipattau cha.
Mahatam ekarupata.
Mahatam
Mahatam ekarupata. Mahatam Ekarupata. It's a beautiful verse which has profound philosophy in it. He says, look at this Sandhyasthana. Udaye Savita Raktaha. Raktascha Astamaye Tatha. The poet makes a beautiful philosophy looking at this natural thing which is happening. When the sun rises, it looks like a red ball. When the sun sets, once again it looks like a red ball. So what do you learn from this? Mahatam, great people, whether they rise or they fall, so they will maintain equanimity. Sampattaucha mahat vipattaucha. So rising, so you can think of as rising in life, and setting. So Mahatam Ekarupata. Anyway, the Sandhya refers to this, the period where two things meet. Now he says, Jagrat Sushuptyoho. So Jagrat is an avastha, Sushupti is an avastha. So between these two states, so Sushupti is an avastha where you have absolutely no knowledge. So you are completely like a rock. Okay? So unless you are disturbed by something else, that can be for a short period, whatever it is. But you don't know whether the world exists, etc. So you are in a completely different state, completely shut off from the world. So Jagrat Avastha exposed to the world. In between, this happens. Sandhau Jagrat Sushuptyoho. Now, the question can be whether it is from entering from the Jagrat side or entering into Jagrat from Sushupti side. Both ways it is true. Okay? Sandhau Jagrat Sushuptyoho. Okay? So, in the Sandhisthana, in fact, there are some interesting verses which say that Sushupti, whenever you sort of wake up generally, if there is some dream, that will have some effect. When you go to dream, so they divide into various jamas and then they will describe all that. Anyway, Sandhau Jagrat Sushuptyoho. This happens at the interface between Jagrat and Sushupti. Jagrat Sushuptyoho Anubhava Vidita. This is something which is known through your experience. Swapnyavastha Dvitiya. So when you start from the beginning of the day, so then you can call it as a Dvitiya Avastha. Okay? Swapnyavastha Dvitiya. Having said that, he says, Tatrahatma Jyotiraste Purushaiha Samakrishya Sarvendriyani. Tatra Ayam Purushaha Samakrishya Sarvendriyani. Tatra Purushaha Iha Samakrishya Sarvendriyani. Iha Samakrishya means into one's own Swarupa. The Indriyas are not let out. Iha Atraiva Atmani. Okay? So within Samakrishya Sarvendriyani, all the sense organs are withdrawn. Okay? Samakrishya Sarvendriyani. But Atma Jyotihi Aste. This is something which we have to understand, maybe with the Shruti itself. I'll come back to that. But for the moment, you have to understand that in this avastha, that certain cognitions take place is our own experience. But this cognition takes place without the assistance of anything else other than one's own self. The cognition takes place without the assistance of anything else other than one's own self. That is why here it is described as Atma Jyotihi Aste. So if I were to know that this entity is existing in this room, then I need various other agencies. I need my eyesight, I need the light, I need various other things. I need the mind should be. So the thing may be there, but I may not even see. Okay, light is there, eyesight is there, but the connection is not there through the mind. Therefore, I don't see. All these things are required. But here, none of those things are there. But you see several things. Therefore, they say, Atma Jyotihi aste purushaiha samakrishya sarvendriyani. Then he says, Samveshya sthula deham samuchita shayane sviya bhasantaratma. I am antaratma. Here refers to jivaha. Samveshya sthula deham. Sthula deham samveshya means, so having made this physical body lie down. Okay. Sthula deham samveshya. So preparing the bed quite well, etc., etc. Okay, and making it lie down. Samveshya sthula deham. That is why he is using the word samuchita shayane. Samuchita shayane. Nalla padkiradu. So for somebody it will be. No. Somebody it will be tar road under the chisel of a vehicle. For somebody it will be on the truck upon the sand. For somebody it will be rickshaw. That's short, 2.5 feet width. Okay. For somebody it will be some 6x4 beautiful cot, 6 inches in thickness or 16 inches in thickness. So these are all samuchita shayanam. So depending upon, so what this feels will be comfortable. Okay. So anyway, so he is just saying samveshya sthula deham samuchita shayane. Okay. So antaratma sthula deham samuchita shayane samveshya. Then what does he do? Samskara rupan abhimata vishayan. So this is something which has to be clearly understood. Abhimata vishayan. This word abhimata has to be little carefully understood. Vishayan pashyan. So that is where you have to see. There are two verbs in the last quarter of the verse. Pashya, pashyati. So that is a shatru pratyaya which we were seeing. So pashyan is a shatru pratyaya and yati is another verb. Okay. Pashyan yati. Kim yati? Kutrapi yati. Kutra yati. So yati means he goes, gachati. So kutrapi yati. So it's very interesting, you see. We don't know. He just moves, wanders. Kutrapi yati. Okay. Absolutely, completely lost. So now abhimata vishayan pashyan. So abhimata normally means that which is abhimata for you, acceptable to you, and so on and so forth. So here it is not necessarily this abhimata, okay, acceptable or desirable things. So we have to understand this word abhimata in the sense of whatever this fellow deserves. Okay. So abhimata means karmana abhimatam yat. Okay. So whatever he deserves based on his own karmas. Okay. So if you take it one step further, so this karma phala data, if we take as Ishvara, then tena abhimatam. Okay. So whatever is permitted by him. Okay, so that is what he sees. Samskara Rupan Sviya Bhasa. The other phrase is Samskara Rupan. They are not physical entities, but entities purely generated out of samskara. Samskara Rupan Abhimata Vishayan Sviya Bhasa Pashyan Yati. So this is how we have to understand. Sviya Bhasa Pashyan Yati. The Sviya Bhasa means there is no other agency which assists him. Okay, Atma Jyotihi, which he was referring to, is what is referred to once again by the word Sviya Bhasa. So Atma Swayam Jyotihi. So in fact, this is what is argued at great length in Brahma Sutras also, taking this Swapnavastha, and that is based on this mantra which I was just chanting a little while ago. We will visit that mantra also once again. So as far as this verse goes, it says Samveshya sthula deham samujita shayane sviya bhasantaratma pashyan samskara rupan. These Vishayas which have been created by him, which are the objects of his cognition, are all purely generated out of samskara. Okay? So samskara rupan. What is this samskara? So these are all certain impressions which have been left in one's own mind by his own acts, which could have been performed here in this janma or could have been performed elsewhere in other janmas. So this is our understanding. Okay? Samskara rupan. In fact, what is the distinction between Ishvara and Jiva, if we ask? The one who is completely unaffected by this samskara is Ishvara, and one who is affected by samskara is Jiva. Okay? So this is occurring actually in one of the sutras, in Yoga Sutra also. So when they say, what is that? The sutra is Aparamrishtah Purusha Visheshaha Ishvaraha. It starts with Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashayaihi. Aparamrishtah Purusha Visheshaha Ishvaraha. What does this Ashaya mean? Ashaya essentially means Samskara Vasana. Aparamrishtah Purusha Visheshaha Ishvaraha. Atra Sambaddhaha Purusha Visheshaha Jivaha. Klesha Karma Vipaka Ashayaha. So Klesha is Dukkha. Dukkha is connected with karma, and anyway this will be followed by Vipaka, your own phala. Okay? And Ashaya, Samskara, Aparamrishtaha. Here, this Purusha Vishesha, this fellow, this Purusha Vishesha is Paramrishtaha. Na kevalam Paramrishtaha, apitu Sambaddhaha. Tightly bound. The Paramrisha itself is a beautiful word, which is nicely described in Nyaya Shastra. Anyway, so that we will not discuss now. So this Samskara Rupan Abhimata Vishayan. What we need to understand here is, this Vishaya includes this fellow's own Sthula Sharira also, which is experiencing. Okay? So what has turned into, what is the base material which has created all this, when you ask? So this we will call as samskara. These impressions themselves. So they manifest. And how do they manifest? There are some interesting things which are presented in some subtle manner in other texts also. So we will see if we can touch upon those. Here he says, Pashyan samskara rupan abhimata vishayan Yati kutrapi tadvat. If you connect the previous verse, Shritya samskara deham. So the created entity, the material with which things have been created, the creator, the tools with which he perceives, all of them are samskara janita. So this is what we need to understand as far as the swapna is concerned. Okay? So all of them is samskara rupan abhimata vishayan yati kutrapi tadvat. There is one more sutra which I have to tell you because we have been associating the Shatra and Sanach Pratyaya. Yesterday I was telling you, and of course it came once again, Yeva Bakeshi was asking. So Shanach Pratyaya. I told Vartamane Latu, Lataha Shatrishana Chau, Aprathama Samana Adhikarane. I said this sutra. Then we have one more sutra, Sambodhanecha. Then the next sutra is something which will be very useful to know in this connection. Tashyan yati. You have to understand. So this aprathama samanadhikarane, so it actually means you can use this shatru pratyaya. Okay? The shatru pratyaya and the shanach pratyaya when it is not used in the sense of prathama vibhakti. This is all it essentially means. Aprathama samanadhikarane. Okay? So prathamayam you don't use. Let us understand when we say pachan. Okay? Pachan means cooking. Pathan, reading. What does it tell you? It is a continuous activity. Okay? Saha patanneva shete. Suppose I say. So patan shete means reading. Patan shete. Okay. So this is what we understand by the phrase. Now the question is aprathama samanadhikarane means the sutra tells gramam gacchantrinam sprishati. This is a standard usage in Kaumudi. So gramam gacchantrinam sprishati. As he goes to the grama, trinam sprishati. Okay. Deshantaram gachan mandiram pashyati. We can just say various usage. Now, here there is an interesting sutra which follows Lakshana hetvo kriyayaha. Lakshana hetvoho.
Lakshana hetvoho.
Lakshana hetvoho kriyayaha.
Kriyayaha.
Kriyayaha. It is also quite instructive to know. So these are all, see, this is just to appreciate how beautifully this Panini has written this grammar in sequence. If you just see Vartamane Late, he said, then Aprathama Samanadhikarane, he said. Then he said Sambodhanecha. Suppose I want to say, Hey Pachan, I can call you. Oh, the one who is cooking. Oh, cooking fellow. Yes. So, hey driver, you just say no. The one who is driving. So there is a certain act. So Hey Pachan, you can just say. So that is why he said Sambodhanecha, you can use this. But then he says, even Prathama, you find its usage. Suppose you say, Ramaha Pachan Aste. Ramaha Patan Aste. So it is Prathama. Ramaha Patan Aste. What is wrong? So Gramam Gachan, when you say, it is Dvitiya. Okay. So here it is Prathama. Now the point that is being conveyed here is Patan Aste essentially means Patati. You understand? Patan Aste, what does it mean? Patati, whatever you convey by single verb is what is conveyed by Patan Aste. So it is absolute redundancy. So therefore, Panini wanted to hint you So you don't need to use this. But there is nothing wrong, you can just say this. But there is one more thing which you need to understand here is, Patan aste, if you analyze, so he is reading. He is reading is Pathati. Pathati, what does it convey? Vartamani. So there is no difference. But you cannot simply say Patan, Ram of Patan. If you just say, so though it means that, simply Ram of Patan is not a usage which is acceptable here. Okay? And therefore, in order to indicate that, he wanted to say Aprathama Samanadhikarane. So let us keep that in mind. Now, this sutra is essentially conveying you something else. This is very interesting and which is connected to this usage. So there is Tashyan Yati. There is some special meaning which you will get. That is why I wanted to tell this to you. This sutra essentially tells Lakshana is one instance. The other instance is Hetu. Lakshana Hetuho Kriyayaha. This is all this sutra says. It says, I will give you example, then you will understand it. So there is a very interesting example which has been given in the text. Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. You repeat this.
Shayana
Bhunjate yavanaha. Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. It's a very interesting usage. See, so our justice laughs, so burst into laughter. So it says Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. So yavanaha, see, so there is an interesting usage. Mlechahi yavanas teshu samyak shastra midam shrutam smrit. So there is another usage. The yavanaha, generally they are described as mlechaha. What does it mean? It means they don't have varnashrama vyavastha. So this is all essentially, mlechatvam essentially means that. So those who do not keep this varnashrama vyavastha, those who do not stick to this, so they are called yavanas. Now he is saying, Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. சாப்பிட்டு தூங்குறல தூங்குன்னு படுத்துட்டு சாப்பிடுற. So one is not supposed to eat while lying on the bed. So therefore he gives this example, Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. Only those fellows, okay, who are not disciplined, who do not know varnashrama vyavastha, who do not know all this civilized way of living. So they will keep eating as they are lying down. There is a usage. Anyway, so the point I wanted to convey here was Lakshana Hetuoho. This is a beautiful usage. So Lakshana Hetuoho Kriyayaha. So this Bhunjate is a Kriya. Shayanam is also a Kriya. Okay, lying on the bed. Now Shayana Bhunjate Yavanaha is, so this is a Lakshana for this. So those fellows, okay, who keep doing this, they are Yavanaha. So this is a Lakshana. When you wanted to indicate something, okay, so Lakshana means by which you will be able to recognize their characteristic, etc. Shayana bhunjate yavanaha. This is one usage. The other example that he gives is Arjayan vasati. So there are some people who are attending from US, okay. So they would have gone to US for studies or they would have gone for earning, etc. So here Arjayan vasati means, vasati means lives. Arjayan vasati means, Arjanam is earning. So the usage here is Arjayan vasati when you use. So this is Hetav. In order to earn, he is living there. Okay. So Arjayan vasati. So Hetav. So why do you live there? In order to give the Hetu, he is using this. So in those two instances, this Shatrashanach will be in Prathama only. So Prathama Samanadhikarane Bhavati Putra Lakshana hetvoho. Now let us come back to this usage here. Here, pashyan yati is a beautiful example of hetau. So what should you understand? So yati gachati. For what? Darshanartham. You understand? Pashyanyati means here yehetau. So pashyanyati is a usage. Kaha yati? This antaratma yati. So this usage antaratma pashyanyati is a certain usage wherein you find prathama samanadhikarana. Okay, this is prathama, antaratma is in prathama. So this sutra which Panini has put clearly tells us why this pashyan. What does it mean? If you have to see something else somewhere, so then you have to go. Okay, in order to see things which are not here, saha pashyan yati. So you see, darshanartham yati. Okay, so that is the usage which we find here. Okay, let us read this verse. Sandho jagrat sushuptyoho anubhava vidita swapnyavastha dvitiya tatratma jyotiraste purushaiha samakrishya sarvendriyani samveshya sthuladeham samuchita shayane sviyabhasantaratma pashyan samskara rupan abhimata vishayan yati kutrapi tadvad kutrapi yati. Okay, so it is absolutely not in his hands but in the samskaras which he has developed. Now I wanted to just tell you that this is based on this Brihadaranyaka mantra, which starts with a very interesting introduction. I don't think I will be able to tell much about this mantra in this class, but we will perhaps take up the next class. But I would like you to go through, which may help you. So those of you who have the access to Shankara Bhashya, almost everybody will have. And here it is 439. It starts with tasya va etasya purushasya dve eva sthane bhavataha idancha paralokasthanancha sandhyam tritiyag swapnasthanam tasmin sandhe sthane tishthan ubhe sthane pashyati idancha paralokasthanancha. It is a beautiful description with which he is trying to explain. So what you see here, there can be experiences which can give you sukhanubhava, which can give you dukhanubhava. Generally in sushupti avastha you think of sukhanubhava and jagrata avastha primarily dukhanubhava, mostly. Okay. Now in the sandhyasthana he says, so idancha pashyati tadapi pashyati. Okay, he sees this as well as that. And he starts with the description. For this fellow there are only two sthanas. Tasya va etasya purushasya. And here he basically starts with idancha paralokasthanancha. He basically starts with a certain description. So idam sthanam means, idam refers to whatever you can experience through your own sense organ by engaging with the world. So this is one sthana, which is this sthana, let us say Bhumi, Prithvi. Paralokasthanam, when you say, it is a different loka. One can think of it in a metaphorical sense, but here Acharya doesn't take a metaphorical sense. He just takes in the real sense. So Paralokasthana is a place where you go and experience based on your own karmas, some other world. Okay, So this is Paraloka Sthana. There are only two sthanas for this fellow. Tasya va etasya purushasya dve eva sthane bhavataha. Idancha paraloka sthanancha. But then he says, Sandhyam tritiyam swapna sthanam. But this Sandhya seems to be a third world in which he lives. So this is one world, that is another world which you will get. And now you are in a different world. So this is also a world. So he says, Sandhyam tritiyam swapna sthanam. And then further he says, Tasmin sandhe sthane. So having placed himself in this sandhya sthana. Okay. Now, should this sandhya sthana be, there is a very interesting discussion which has been carried out by Bhagavad Pada. He says, when you think of two sthanas, so now what is happening is between China and India. So there is a sandhya sthana, right? So there is a line of border. So now where is the line of border? So is it so thin line? So line in mathematics doesn't have any thickness. Okay. So either this belongs to China or this belongs to India. So whichever piece of the land that you just conceive of. Okay. So this is like Sandhya Sthana. So when you think of interface, it is like this. So the other day, so we just saw this example. So he was saying the same light enters into a prism and then turns into various colors, etc. What is this Sandhi? So there is one medium which is called air. There is another medium which is called glass. So something happens in the Sandhyam Sthanam. Okay, at the interface between two things. So this is a very interesting discussion. Perhaps we'll take up the discussion tomorrow. So we'll just wind up this class today. Om Sarve Pisukhinas Santu, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavetu. Om